Horror Hound's coming up in a little over a month. And today I'm going to be breaking down some updates as far as the guest list, as far as the schedule, and what all you can get into at Horror Hound this year. Now, if you've never heard of Horror Hound or you've never been to Horror Hound, I definitely suggest checking it out. It is a premier horror convention that happens every single year in Cincinnati and in Indianapolis. And I've been to quite a few of these. I try to go every single year. It is definitely worth going. It's definitely worth the price of admission. I always get weekend passes or VIP passes. I believe VIP passes are completely sold out right now for Cincinnati, but weekend passes are still available and single day passes are still available. Now, the convention is set at the Sharonville Convention Center, which is just north of Cincinnati, right off of 75 in Sharonville, Ohio. It's about, I'd say, a 10-minute drive from downtown, 10-15 minutes, give or take traffic. It's a pretty big space, and this year it is happening March 24th through the 26th, an entire weekend, which they always do a Friday through a Sunday. If you're coming to this year's event, I just want to let you know that, you know, it's not always the easiest to find parking. If you've been here before or you haven't been to Horror Hound before, I would suggest don't really focus on parking actually at the convention center. There's plenty of places to park around the convention center. Some of them will charge you, but there is a very good parking area. I would say, like, right across the street, there is a brewery and there is a hotel, and if you go right in between those in the back parking lot, there's some good parking spots back there. You just have to walk across the street at the light, and then you're right there at the Sharonville Convention Center for Horror Hound. Now, before we get started, like and subscribe to the channel. We just have a lot more stuff coming up. We just posted the schedule for February. We have a ton of stuff planned, and we're going to be releasing videos now on every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday for you guys to keep up on all of the horror news, reviews, and stuff that we do. If you want to look at the schedule, you can find it up on our community page on the YouTube channel. Right here as you're watching, you just go right to the channel, hit the community tab, you'll see the schedule right there. And while you're on the page, like I said, subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. You can also find the schedule on our subreddit and also on our Twitter if you want to go to those and follow us on those. That would be amazing. And check out our Etsy. We do have some new shirts up on there, including the Skinamarink shirt and this House of the Devil shirt, which was directed by Ty West. So head over to the Etsy, check out what we have, and let's get into this Horror Hound update. Okay, so first off, guest list. The big main person that is going to be here, and I would say the biggest star, the main attraction of the 2023 Cincinnati Horror Hound, is none other than the Bruce Campbell, Ashley Williams from The Evil Dead. You've seen him in the entire Evil Dead universe. You've seen him in Burn Notice and Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi ones. You just saw him as Pizza Papa in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So this is super awesome. If you're a horror fan, you obviously know who Bruce Campbell is. I am so hyped to meet Bruce. This is a big thing for me. We have so much Evil Dead stuff here in our apartment. Evil Dead stuff all in the living room. We have Necronomicons. We have all sorts of stuff. He was supposed to be at Horror Hound Cincinnati last year, but unfortunately had to drop out because of filming. And so he said that he was going to be back this year. He kept his promise, and he is back this year to fulfill his duties and finally let all of us get to meet him and hang out with him at Horror Hound. That said, another big star that will be there and kind of the second ranking celebrity is Giancarlo Esposito. Now, if you don't know who that is, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, The Mandalorian, you would know him if you saw him. I predominantly know him from Community. Now, I love Breaking Bad, don't get me wrong. Breaking Bad's awesome. I loved him in Breaking Bad. But I know him as Pierce's half-brother from Community, who there is a couple episodes really based around. There's a video game episode. There's a haunted house episode that has him in it. And I really loved his character in Community. Not really much of horror for him. He's never really been in many horror things or horror things in general. But it's still really cool that he's here. And it's really cool to you know, kind of speculate about, you know, what possibly he could be doing in the future. I heard that he possibly could be Professor X, or that he wanted to play Professor X in the MCU X-Men. I would love to kind of pick his brain and ask him if that's true, but I doubt that he will tell me if he actually is going to be Professor X, or how many people actually ask him that. It's probably going to be like 1 million people, but still pretty cool that he's going to be here for being a pretty well-known celebrity. Next up is the entire Terrifier crew. That includes David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown. He's going to be in full makeup for a photo op. And also Damian Leon, who is the director of Terrifier, and also a few more people from Terrifier 2, or having to do with the first Terrifier. Now for me, if you've heard me talk about this before on the channel, or if you know me, you know I'm not the biggest Terrifier fan in the entire world. The series is just kind of blah to me. It's no offense against anybody who enjoys the Terrifier films. I completely understand why people like them, and I really hope that they have continued success in the series and that they can build this universe around it. But for me personally, you know, I really like very graphic, exploitative, extreme horror films, and Terrifier just doesn't do it for me. It kind of just feels like shock value to me, rather than shock value with purpose. I like shock value with purpose, but the Terrifier films just kind of feel like shock value to me with no point or sense of story. It's just, hey, here's a clown killing people in graphic ways, and that's that. And that doesn't do anything for me. But like I said, if you like Terrifier, if you're a fan of the Terrifier series, I'm sure you're hyped for them to be here. I'm sure you're super hyped to get like a photo op with David Howard in his Art the Clown costume. That's gonna be super cool, because there was a ton of people who were cosplaying as Art the Clown last year at Horror Hound, so I'm sure there's gonna be a ton of people there just for the Terrifier people, and hey, that's awesome. I hope you have a good time. I hope you get to meet all of them. Now, next up is a little bit of an touchy subject for me, and this is not me talking bad about Horror Hound. And Horror Hound, if you guys are watching, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Your guys' convention is the premier, best horror convention in the entire world. I don't understand having the people from Karate Kid and Cobra Kai coming. Now, that could just be to draw in a fan base, that could be to sell tickets, and I totally get that. I 100% get that. You want a lot of people coming, and you kind of want to branch out at one point to being more of a Comic-Con type style convention rather than strictly basing everything on horror. And I know they haven't always had just horror people. They've had wrestlers, they've had other stuff. I completely understand that. It just seems off the wall to me for them to have Cobra Kai people or Karate Kid people, but it is what it is. With that said, Ralph Macchio, Billy Zabka, Martin Kove, all gonna be there, all from Karate Kid. I'm sure if you're a Karate Kid fan or a Cobra Kai fan, you're super hyped about this. Again, not talking bad about it, not my cup of tea, but if you really love those series, if you love those movies or the TV series, then you are really going to want to come out and stand in line to meet Ralph Macchio, Billy Zabka, get pictures with them. That way you can say, hey, I met the Karate Kid. Next up is a big one, dude. It's a big one. Doug Bradley. Doug Bradley is the original Pinhead. The OG Pinhead. Like, he is Pinhead. When you see Pinhead, when you see that picture of Pinhead, that movie poster of Pinhead holding the box, that is Doug Bradley, man. And that is super cool. That is a big thing for horror fans, because especially with the new Hellraiser coming out with mixed reviews, the original Hellraiser just sticks out to be that good. And then come and meet Doug Bradley and get a picture with him, knowing that you're getting a picture with the original Hellraiser, which is so cool. All right, so we're getting pretty, we're getting through the main people now, so I'm gonna start kind of speeding up a little bit, that way we can get through this video. Spencer from Ice Nine Kills is gonna be there. Now, I don't believe anybody else from the band is gonna be there. It's just gonna be Spencer, because they just released that movie, that short film or music video or something. I used to be in a couple hardcore bands. I've played many shows with Ice Nine Kills. They've always seemed like nice guys. Their music isn't my cup of tea, but that is what it is. Outside of that, you know, it's a little bit weird seeing him at Horror Hound, because I've always just known him as the front man of a metalcore band. It's still pretty cool. It's good that he's getting recognized for what he's doing and what they're doing for the horror community. So if you like Ice Nine Kills, you can definitely check him out. Bonnie Aarons is going to be there. She plays the Nun. Again, the Nun isn't really my thing, but if you like the Nun, you know, it's your chance to literally meet the Nun. Devon Sawa, who I'm really excited to see. If you don't know who that is, the original main character from Final Destination, the very first one. And if you're someone like me who grew up in the 90s and you were a teenager in the mid-2000s, Final Destination really sticks out to you like it does to me for how good of a film that it is and how unique it was as a horror film. There really hadn't been anything done like Final Destination before, so I'm super excited to meet him. Again, another big character actor now coming up, and you've seen this now with so many people. So the guy who plays Art, the guy who plays, see, I'm drawing a blank now, the guy who plays Pinhead, the Nun, the girl who plays the Nun, is going to be there. So you're seeing a trend in this year's where we're getting a lot of character actors, and this is also a big one. John Kasser, who is the literal Crypt Keeper, is going to be there. And now you might know him from some Nickelodeon stuff like Cat Dog and Rocket Power. I almost said Team Rocket, that's Pokemon. But he is the Crypt Keeper. So if you're a Tales from the Crypt fan, definitely come out and come see him. That way you can meet the Crypt Keeper. Christy Swanson from Buffy the Vampire Slayer will be there. Ken Kierzinger, who plays Jason Voorhees and Freddy vs. Jason, will be there. So yet another character actor is going to be there. That is so cool. Also, Brett Wagner, who is the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. That is the Jessica Biel one. Super hyped about this one. If you've seen the channel before, you know that I love Jessica Biel in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that one is so gruesome, so dirty, so just, oh my, it is one of the best horror remakes ever made. I am super excited to meet him because I'm a huge Leatherface fan and a huge fan of his Leatherface. Now, we have some people from E.T., and again, Horror Hound, don't hate me. Don't hate me for this. I love your convention, but I don't understand the whole ET thing. That's fine. That's fine. Everybody fine. You want to bring people in. You want to get a diverse crowd and get people in, and that's completely fine. E.T.'s not a bad movie at all. I like E.T. I like the ride at Universal, but I don't know. It's hard to explain. It feels weird for me to have them here, but at the same time, I completely understand it. And out of all the people from ET that's going to be here, the one person that really sticks out to me is Dee Wallace. I absolutely love Dee Wallace and everything she has been in. She has been in so many things. Mainly, though, The House of the Devil. She was in The House of the Devil. I am so hyped. Like, I am so hyped because Ty West's House of the Devil is like one of my favorite movies just because of how it's shot and the style. And everybody knows Ty West now, but back in the day, people didn't know Ty West very well. And I only knew of Ty West doing smaller films like House of the Devil and The Sacrament. And this was well before X. And so those movies really stuck out to me. And the fact that I can possibly get something House of the Devil signed by Dee Wallace is going to be super, super cool. Moving on, we have Phil Fondacaro. He's been in all sorts of stuff. You can look up and see everything he's been in. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of fans for him coming this year just because of everything that he's been in. Scott Ian from Anthrax, big Anthrax fan here, love Anthrax. So pretty cool. Scott's gonna be there. He's been in some horror movies, like lower budget horror movies, kind of like what Henry Rollins kind of does, where he's in those like kind of crappy low budget horror movies that are real gruesome and graphic, but it's still really cool. I like Scott, and it'll be really cool to see him. Now that does it for the guests for right now. I do believe there is some updates on their Twitter for a few new people, but they have not updated the website officially, so I am not going to say who those people are. I believe it's either one or two people they have announced on the Twitter, but until it's on the official website, I am not going to officially say they're going to be there because, you know, the website makes it concrete, and so we just want to make sure. But to point out, there are a few more spots there at the bottom of the guest list saying more to come or more soon, and so we can guess that there's probably going to be a few more announcements before next month's Horror Hound comes around. Now let's move on to the calendar and the events that we have going on at Horror Hound this year. If you've been to Horror Hound before, then you know that there are other things you can do other than just walking around the vendor hall or the celebrity hall, you can get tattoos, you can watch short films, you can watch full-length films, you can go to after parties, you can do karaoke. There is a ton of stuff, and this year it looks around the same. It looks like the calendar is pretty much set up the same with panels, with the film festival, with everything. It looks exactly the same. The schedule is up on the website, so if you go over to the website and you click on the schedule, you can go down through the entire schedule. Now, it looks like Friday they do have some trailers. They have a workshop early in the morning, and it looks like they are going to end the night off with karaoke, which is always a fun time to get together, have drinks with a bunch of other horror fans while people are singing very badly into a microphone, and it is great. It's a fun time. If you're coming out, if you have a weekend pass, it'll get you into the after parties, and you can just hang out and have a good time, and just kind of get to know more of the horror community by just hanging out with everybody. Now, at 10 a.m. on Saturday, they have Saturday morning cartoons. It's a really cool thing if you want to check it out. Then we have some more panels, kids costume contest at 5 p.m. on Saturday. And then at 8 o'clock, I mean, we have an award ceremony. There is the big party, after party that's going on. There's a live concert. We do not know who's performing yet, but most of the time it's going to be some sort of smaller band playing in the ballroom where everything's happening. And then also the costume contest, the cosplay contest is Saturday night during all of that as well. So again, come to Horror Hound, get weekend passes so you can come to the after parties, walk around, meet the vendors, buy stuff from the vendors, meet the celebrities, but check out the after parties. They're super, super fun. And Sunday, it looks like there's a few more workshops, some more panels, and they'll finish up the film festival on Sunday. So, like I said, a lot of stuff to do all 3 days. The film festival is really good. I've been the past couple years. There's some good movies, and there's some not great ones. You would expect that with a film festival. But there have been some ones that have been very, very good, and I would definitely suggest checking out. It's at the hotel across the street. You can just go in, sit down. Obviously, you can't make noise, you can't like eat and stuff like that, but you can sit there, and then sometimes they do have trivia where you can win prizes. I won a little Horror Hound badge last year, or pin, not badge, pin last year for getting a Silent Hill question correct. So you might be able to win some stuff if you go to the film festival, which is pretty cool. Photo ops are up now, so go ahead and head over to Horror Hound's Twitter. I believe the link is up on there to buy your photo ops. They range in prices. You can get a photo op with pretty much everybody if you want to grab one of those. It's really cool. You get a 2-person pass, essentially, to get a physical print of you and the celebrity of your choice. Also, there's tattooing going on, so you can contact the list of tattooers that are on the Horror Hound website. Now, hotels are completely sold out right now around pretty much the whole entire area. The closest one you're probably going to get for the weekend is 5 miles away, maybe more. So unfortunately, you're not going to be able to grab a hotel, but it's still worth looking into coming for the weekend and possibly trying to find somewhere. There's quite a few hotels in the surrounding area, so outside of that, I think we covered everything for the update. Now, like I said, we're going to be filming all weekend there. We are going to be doing interviews with the vendors. We're going to be doing interviews with workers. We are going to be doing interviews with attendees who come up to us and talk to us. So if you want to be part of the 3-day video that we're going to be doing on Horror Hound Cincinnati 2023, please come up. Please say hi, and we will talk to you about some of your favorite horror movies, who you're excited to see, what you've bought. Super awesome, because we want everybody involved all around Horror Hound. That is a full community. We want this video to feel like the community coming together, and we are super, super hyped about it. So don't be shy. Come talk to us while we're filming. And again, weekend passes are still available. Single day passes are still available. HorrorHoundWeekend.com is where you can head over and grab your tickets, and I suggest doing it soon because they do sell out very quickly. And we will be back very soon. Like I said, the schedule is up, and the next one that we have coming up will be on Sunday, and that is X versus Pearl. Until then, this has been Basement Horror. We'll be back soon with another horror video.